in to our first main topic today. And our first main topic today is this. So our friend of the show, Noah Farney,
that's right,
gave me a call a little bit earlier to let me know that one of our beloved shows was in trouble. The news came out a week or so ago about Justin Roiland and his, domestic thing that happened. We didn't report on it here just because it's not really that big of a deal and big of news. I'm not the biggest. I mean, I like Rick and Morty, but I'm not like running out to see it when it comes out. I just watch it when it's around and when it's on. So it's just not something that's, prevalent, like here for me, that I want to care about enough. But there's this news that Noah informed me about, and I have this article here coming to us from the guys at Screen Rant, if I can get this pulled up here. And yeah, it looks like that after all of this stuff, that Justin Roiland's going to be out of continuing to create Rick and Morty. So let's read a little bit of this article. As he faces felony domestic abuse charges from a former relationship, Justin Roiland has been fired from Rick and Morty, with plans to reportedly recast the show's voice roles. Roiland co-created the hit Adult Swim animated comedy series with community vet Dan Harmon, based on a Back to the Future parody short, and also stars as both the titular mad scientist and his grandson as they venture through the multiverse on bizarre and poignant adventures. With the show scoring widespread acclaim and strong ratings for the network, Rick and Morty is set to continue through season 10, though we'll be missing one of its most central figures. The official Rick and Morty Twitter account has just revealed that the Adult Swim has officially cut ties with the series star and co-creator Justin Roiland. The announcement post does assure that the series will continue without Roiland at the helm, and that the creative team behind the series are hard at work on season 7. A subsequent report from The Hollywood Reporter indicates that Roiland's voice will be recast for the show's future, with Dan Harmon will now be credited as Rick and Morty's sole show runner. The news comes from Rick and Morty firing nearly 2 weeks after it was reported that Roiland had been charged with one count of domestic battery with corporal injury and a count of false imprisonment back in 2020 in his home in Orange County, California. Filed by a Jane Doe whom he was in a dating relationship with at the time, Roiland initially pleaded not guilty and was released on a $50,000 bond August that year, with his attorney issuing a statement more recently asserting his client's innocence and hopes of clearing the Rick and Morty co-creator's name. A protective order was reportedly filed against at the time of the initial charges, with reports also indicating Roiland had been presented with a plea deal during a recent pre-trial hearing. So to furthermore about how much no one really cares about this, guys, this happened back in 2020. It's 3 years later now, and now he's being fired for it, and now we're discussing it here. That seems like a long time ago for us to just now be talking about it. And yeah, I'm gonna say, for me, this news isn't shocking. We live in this reactionary society where, as soon as headlines are out about something negative, it's like, hey, get that guy out of here, and we don't want to see him again. So it's not surprising at all. It's definitely not surprising that they're going to continue the series without him, because they just signed that huge ass deal. So they're not going to not do it just because of this, because they've got so much money invested in it. So they're not going to just burn their money. So that's not surprising to me as well either. And obviously, then that means it's not surprising that they're going to recast his voice. What is the question to me, I guess, for me would be, moving forward, is this the same? Is it completely disastrous without Justin Roiland?
Yes.
Is it able to continue to move forward? Does it move forward and Justin Roiland isn't there, but he's there? He's on the phone. He's making decisions still. Look, I don't know how this really works out. And then does this, in his innocence, if this went to trial and he was found not guilty, I mean, do we see a James Gunn Disney thing here where 2 years later, hey, we're hiring or Justin Roiland back, I'm not really sure. All I know is the facts that we have now. He has these accusations against him. And it seems that the decision has been made to cut ties with him. So ties are cut. No more Justin Roiland, but the series will continue to move on. It's currently working on season 7, so it looks like 7, 8, 9, 10, right? 3 seasons without Justin Roiland moving forward. Trevor, you're hearing this news, I suppose, for the first time. What are your thoughts? I know you're a huge Rick and Morty fan, but what are you thinking?
They ain't making it to season 8. There's no way. That's a lot of news to take in. One, if he really is guilty of some serious physical
domestic abuse,
I mean, yeah, maybe. I think at least you got to take him off. You gotta like, we gotta punish actions like that. I mean, and I think someone with that level of power, if you're making those kind of decisions, you maybe prove that you don't deserve that level of power. So as far as like, should he be gone? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe like a trial. I don't know. People are mistaken. They're flawed. They do stupid shit all the time. I don't know. Like, it's not okay in any way to harm other people, period. It's especially not okay to harm your partner in any way, shape, or form, but I also just get that people are stupid and they make mistakes. So I don't know. That is a very gray area that I'm not really sure how I feel about. As far as Rick and Morty, all right, look, I understand why you think you would want to keep making this show, but you are going to waste your money. This is a stupid, stupid ultimate decision because he is Rick and Morty.
Yeah, but they really waste their money if they don't do the show, right?
No, because now if they just cancel it, because that's it for him.
Then that means all that money that they spent for the rights to it just goes out the door.
True, but
so
at this
there's
point
no
now,
making money from this.
Right.
You just keep making content is what you're going to keep doing. I mean,
yeah, but at the problem. Well, I mean, they're still going. There has to be that back end money from the advertising and all that stuff to be able to fund the fact that they keep doing this. And without him, it's not coming. Like, it's not going to be coming. Nobody is going to watch this show. I guarantee you no one is going to watch the show without him, because not only is he the 2 main characters, he created the show. This is his show. And now you're going to, it would be like running the Amanda Bynes show without Amanda Bynes. You don't. You don't do it.
I don't know if it'd be like that. It'd be more like running Family Guy without Seth MacFarlane.
Which
it'd be more like that. But no, because Amanda Bynes you're seeing Amanda Bynes, so it's not that was not the same. But the Seth MacFarlane one is
Morty.
And Seth MacFarlane is Peter Griffin and all of that too. But at the end of the day, it still has to move on, because I also think about this, Trevor. There's also, thousands, probably hundreds, at least thousands of people that have jobs that are, that work on this set. And because of one man's fuck up, we're going to now say, hey, you all lose all of your jobs are now over with.
Man.
But that's not the business.
He is the creator. He is the reason they all have the job. Right. He is. And now he's gone.
Right, but I guarantee you he would say, hey, man, don't punish all of these people for what I've done, because they still have families and contracts and money that, see, it's all about continuing to push it, because at the end of the day, the majority of the viewers that watch this particular show are in a demographic of like 14 to 21 years old. So in that demographic, I mean, is a 14 or 15-year-old really going to notice a big difference?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I don't know if they will. I don't know if a 14-year-old would notice that big of a difference,
I guarantee you, bro.
I mean, has The Simpsons had the same writers and the same crew for 35 seasons?
I'm sure they've had a lot of them.
I'm sure they've, and it's always been The Simpsons.
The other most important part is that, this is a good example. Simpsons. Anyone who is a longtime fan of The Simpsons can tell you, first 10 seasons of The Simpsons, great. After that, it's slowly and eventually dramatically dropped in quality, right? Because as time goes on, you lose those original writers. And this isn't even they still have Groening over there. Groening is still attached, right? But they lose some of their writers, and it loses some of that touch and that sparkle. But they still have Homer Simpson. They still have Marge Simpson. They still have the people that made the show. And this show is Rick and Morty. Without Rick and Morty, it all falls apart. And he is Rick and Morty. So I understand why they would keep going. That's the way they were always.
But that's the thing is that, and I say the same thing with Family Guy. At this point, he's really just doing voices. McFarlane. He is doing little of the writing and shit. Like, he has a group that's been doing it, and they do the majority of the stuff. So at the end of the day, if you took McFarlane out, the only thing you would truly be losing from Family Guy is the voice. And as you and I both know, there is voice actors out there that are just as well as suited, if not better, that have better reputations and have done better things that could probably mimic the voice of Brian Griffin or Peter Griffin, or in this case, Rick or Morty. I mean, I've had friends that can sound like these dudes. So, and I get it that it would still be slightly different. I understand that, but the majority of the show, the jokes wise and stuff, would probably be somewhat the same. So I think if you could get voices that sound similar enough, I think that you could get away with it, because I don't think the writing changes much. I don't think he had his hands at this point, season 7. I think he's at the point, he was burnt out on this. He didn't want to sign the deal. He only signed the deal because he wanted to sell out. He wanted the money. He wanted to cash the big check. That's the only reason why. He knew he didn't want to do it. And he has slowly put more of the control of the creation into these other people's hands, and took in more of a backseat responsibility of just being a voice actor. And I think because of that, I think we could see a very similar show.
I disagree with that completely, because let's look at Roiland's other show. His other show is a carbon copy of Rick and Morty. It looks like it. It sounds like it. It feels like it. It's all that. Like the writing, it's the writing and the style of that. You feel Dan Harmon in there. If you're a fan of Dan Harmon, you know Dan Harmon, but his is getting that overall story together, right? And he's great at telling the big story. Roiland goes in and he fills in all that stuff. And without that is what makes Rick and Morty a lightning in a bottle. Will there be some people that are going to watch it still? Sure. But it's without him, it's gone. Like the lightning, the thing that captured the world's attention is gone. Which in this market, that is what you need, and they lost it.
Yeah,
and again, I will go back to the original. Probably deserved it. Right, he probably deserved it. It sucks that this one idiot's decisions are going to go ahead and cascade, and it will. I'm not going to put money on it, but I would almost bet that it will be done by season 8. Or at least the viewership will have dropped off so much they're having the conversation, because he is crucial to this thing.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal, because there's only 3 seasons left on the contract, and I think that they could ride that. I think it would take that long for people to start really fussing about it, and by that time they'd be like, hey, we're done with it anyway, bro, so you guys do whatever the hell you want. I mean, again, there's only 3. I mean, they signed like a 5-season deal. They're 2 into that, so they only have 3 left. I mean,
yeah, but people's attention is really, really hard to get. And if you
but they got it like a mother crazy right now, right?
Yeah, but then they just lost it.
But they didn't, though. They haven't yet.
They lost mine?
Yes, but they haven't lost their demographic yet. That 14 to 21-year-old range, they don't listen. When I was 14, I didn't give a damn about who was committing domestic abuse, bro.
Well, yeah.
I didn't care about none of that kind of shit. The creators of the shows I watched, I knew nothing about those people when I was 14.
I did.
Nothing.
Know about
Not a thing. I thought the pirate from SpongeBob was the guy that created it. I knew nothing.
Was when suddenly my characters are sounding one way, and then suddenly, that's weird. My character, I'll give you the best possible example. Pokemon, all right? Mm-hmm. The first 8 seasons of Pokemon were done by 4Kids TV, the dub. Mm-hmm. Great. And in this team, they had a team of writers and they had a team of actors, right? Mm-hmm. And when when they could no longer pay for it, Pokemon sold from 4Kids, and they made their own company called Pokemon USA. And instead of buying all these people out of their contracts, they just hired all new people. And the viewership of Pokemon went woof, like that. And it's still hard enough to where it's still getting money, but it dropped way off because you took out the main
right,
writers.
but it didn't drop off enough for it to be a way, though. That's the thing. That thing's gone on. In fact, yeah, I mean, they even remade the original Pokemon movie with the new cast, and that was a hit. In fact, it's got better ratings than the original one.
Yeah, but that's because at the time,
I don't know. I think the kids, that's the problem is when you're a kid, and Pokemon's demographic is even younger. So now we're talking about an 8-year-old who cares about that shit. Well, you're very few and far between, dude, my friend. I know your average 8-year-old does not give a damn about who created Pokemon or if they hit their wife.
Well, the second one for sure. They
don't give a damn about.
They may not care about the fact that the creator was different, but the creator being different changes the quality. It changes the whole thing up.
Right, but the quality to an 8-year-old and to me are going to be way different.
Sure.
So an 8-year-old, you can almost just put colors on and just be good.
I remember having conversations with many of my friends about Pokemon. When it happened, I was like,
Trevor,
dude, what happened?
Trevor, the original Pokemon movie is like a 12 or 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, so it just goes to show you that people didn't even see that as good like we did. So it could be very divisive either way. All I'm saying is I think that it could at least write his contract out before it starts getting a real fuss. But what do you guys think about this? You guys are hearing all this information about Justin Roiland, no longer there at Rick and Morty. Do you guys think it'll continue on successfully or not? Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below.